You know, I have often felt that the polemic is a great way to communicate ideas. So I, for a long time, have loathed a certain pseudo socialist, pseudo anti imperialist named Ben Norton. And I just found out that Ben Norton has blocked me on Twitter. And because of that, I am now going to unload on Ben Norton. Because a couple years back, Ben Norton made a video, didn't say my name because he doesn't want to advertise for me, God forbid, but he referenced a lot of the things we talk about on this channel and spoke about them idiotically. So this is the short clip of Ben Norton. Ben Norton giving his analysis of what it is we talk about on here.
Trump rotted so many people's brains. Obviously, we saw that with liberals, with Russiagate and the Orange Cheeto Man and being gay with Putin and all this nonsense. But like,
which keep in mind, all the people that Ben Norton is aligned with are the kind of people who promote that kind of thing. You know, Ben Norton says that the Stop Trump movement, the effort to drive out Donald Trump, all of that's good. And in fact, Ben Norton aligns himself with the Party of Socialism and Liberation, led by Brian Becker, whose only critique of the Biden administration was they didn't go far enough in prosecuting and outlawing protests and suppressing dissent after January 6th. So, yeah, you also broke your brain after Donald Trump was elected. But continue.
Like, it also rotted the brains of some people who were like on the left or claimed fidelity to the left, or at least used to. So, I mean, there are people who openly argue at this point, especially the so-called like patriotic socialists, which is a whole other dumb can.
Yeah, you can't love your country and be a socialist. That's just idiotic. I mean, who ever heard of such a thing, right? I mean, you become a socialist because you want the country to burst into flames and everyone to die, right? I mean, it's just like, oh, yeah, why would anyone be patriotic, right? The right wing says that we're all a bunch of hippies who spit on soldiers and burn flags. Everybody knows that, right? Yeah. Why wouldn't we want average Americans to think we're their enemies? I mean, it's like, look at the gestures there. I mean, just look at this. This is unbelievable.
Of worms. But they openly argue. They say communism is conservative.
Ben, do you think the Soviet Union was into the transgender thing? Was that what they were focusing on? Do you think in China they're huge fans of the woke thing? And, Ben, you live in Nicaragua, Ben. You live in Nicaragua. You do realize that Nicaragua has some of the strictest anti-abortion laws of any country in the world. Oh, yeah. I don't think you realize that because even while you're living in Nicaragua, you're tweeting out idiotic things, claiming that anyone who's against abortion is a fascist and a theocrat and stuff. Ben, if you've ever been to any communist country in the world, Vietnam, Cuba, North Korea, China, Laos, Venezuela, you would know that according to the woke idiots you hang around with, if anyone says anything remotely close to what those people think, they would be labeled a conservative. So please do not try to convince me that the Chinese Communist Party is woke, that the Vietnamese Communist Party is woke, that Nicaragua is woke. They're socialists. They're anti-imperialists. They're not woke, and they certainly aren't practicing degrowth, you dumb fuck.
And that we are more likely to win over conservatives than liberals.
Actually, yes. Have you tried to talk with anybody in the United States lately? I mean, this is just great, right? What country does Ben Norton live in? He lives in Nicaragua. So he lives in Central America. He ran away to Central America, but he thinks he knows how to better recruit and build a socialist movement in the United States, right? I mean, this is outrageous. We can better recruit conservatives than liberals. Yeah, well, why don't you do it, Ben? Why don't you get your ass back here to the United States and go try to convince crowds of people who think that Trump needs to be removed from office because he's an agent of Putin, and you try to convince them to stand in solidarity with the people of Donetsk and Lugansk. You fucking idiot. Seriously. I mean, you run to Nicaragua, and now you're sitting there going, oh, we can recruit conservatives. Actually, you can. When I talk to conservatives, they hate Jeff Bezos too. When I talk to conservatives, they're suspicious of Biden sending weapons to Ukraine while America's falling apart too. And if you say that to liberals, you know what they say to you? That's a conspiracy theory. You must be right wing. Yes, it is easier to talk to conservatives than liberals. And you would know that if you were in the United States trying to do what is your job as an anti-imperialist and build an anti-imperialist movement, not just grift money ripping on your homeland. And that's all you're doing. You're a cynical grifter, and you're hustling the anti-imperialist states. You're hustling Russia. You're hustling China. You're hustling Venezuela to get money by doing a cynical performance art. I don't think you even really support these countries. I think that you're just a fucking grifter. And I'm here in the United States because I actually want to build a real movement, because I actually love my country. I love the working people. I care about the people in Ohio who are losing their jobs and seeing their kids go to prison for opioids. I care about the hungry children in the Bronx. I care about the people losing their schools and their jobs and their homes so that Joe Biden can send money and weapons to Ukraine or send money to Israel to murder Palestinians. I actually care about them. I'm not just putting on some woke autistic grift like you. I love my country, and that's why I'm a socialist. I want to see an America where everyone has jobs and healthcare and education. I want to see an America where the bankers are defeated, and you want to hustle money and grift and rip off the anti-imperialist countries so that you can live a luxurious, decadent lifestyle as an expat. I actually believe in this. I actually love my country, and you're a fraud, and you know it.
Over conservatives than liberals, and they openly say that. And
yeah, we do. Because if you lived in America and actually talked to anybody, you would know that. You would know that liberals want to murder Russians and conservatives want peace with Russia. You would know that liberals believe everything they see on CNN and conservatives question it. You would know that Tucker Carlson supports the Uhuru movement, while Joe Biden is trying to throw them in jail for being against the war in Ukraine. You might know this, Ben, if you were here doing the work, if you weren't a grifting expat.
They say that Trump, even though we disagree with him, even though we disagree with him on all these things, he represents this kind of like radical wing of the bourgeoisie that is going against big capital. And it's
actually, yeah. Why do you think they're trying to throw Donald Trump in jail? I mean, if he's on the same team as Joe Biden, why do you think they're trying to throw Donald Trump in jail? Why do you think they kicked Tucker Carlson off Fox News? Oh, but they're all good buddies. There's no disagreements. That's crazy. Oh, the idea that there might be a fight in the ruling class. I mean, there was no coup attempt against Roosevelt. The business plot never happened. JFK never got assassinated. No, RFK never got assassinated. Oh no, Nixon didn't get driven out of office with the Watergate scandal. No, all the capitalists are on the same team. Karl Marx said so. There's no division in the ruling class. I know what I'm talking about. What a fucking idiot. I mean, and he sits there and he wants to tell us that, oh no, we shouldn't be trying to recruit Americans that are conservative and are questioning mainstream media. Instead, we should be trying to recruit teenagers with pink hair who think all Republicans are Nazis, and that anyone who is at all critical of the trans question, which the Russians and the Cubans and the Iranians and the Venezuelans are, should be murdered. You have no idea what you're talking about, Ben. Tucker Carlson supports Uhuru, and Biden is imprisoning them, and all the fake leftist groups, for the most part, have abandoned them, right? You want us to align with the people who are throwing black revolutionaries in jail, but you don't want us to align with the people speaking up in support of them on national television. That's your position. It's more important to be woke than it is to support black revolutionaries who are facing imprisonment. You want us to align with the people who are censoring the internet, who are teaming up with Twitter to silence us. You want us to align with them because Trump is a racist. Trump is a big racist. I don't like Donald Trump. There's a lot of things that Donald Trump said and did as president, murdering Qasem Soleimani, anti-immigrant policies I don't agree with. But the Trump wing does represent a section of the ruling class that is at odds with the prevailing trend of imperialism. And if you are so idiotically dogmatic, you cannot realize that. How dare you call yourself a Marxist?
It's like small capital against big capital, which is
yes, small capital against big capital. The business plot. The Yankee and Cowboy War. Carl Oglesby. The Anglo-American establishment by, wow. Wow. I mean, it's just like there's all this research into who the ruling class are and the different factions among them. But no. They're all the same. We're all idiots for thinking there could ever be any division in the ruling class.
Going against big capital. And it's like small capital against big capital, which is ridiculous. I mean,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, Trump's administration wasn't full of lower level capitalists, and Biden wasn't supported by all the big corporations in removing Donald Trump. I mean, this guy's really a piece of work, right? I mean, it reminds you of Noam Chomsky, doesn't it? Noam Chomsky is like this. When the movie JFK by Oliver Stone came out, Noam Chomsky and Howard Zinn gave a press conference and said, "Oh no, this movie's awful. No, it can't be because Kennedy did the Bay of Pigs invasion. Kennedy oversaw some coups, so therefore Kennedy wasn't assassinated." Well, what does that have to do with anything? Right? Well, Kennedy wasn't a communist. Kennedy wasn't perfect. So therefore, we can't talk about the Kennedy assassination. As if there could never be any divisions in the ruling class, as if there could never be other factions. And after 9/11, 9/11 truth, the same situation, right? Noam Chomsky came out and said, "Oh, no, we can't look into any questions about 9/11. I mean, at this point, it's been revealed stuff about the hijackers, the 28 pages, but Noam Chomsky came out, no. America just goes around the world doing bad things. Somebody did it back to us. No. These people are gatekeepers. They're here to make sure that the left just remains a piece of window dressing for the U.S. political establishment, that the U.S. political establishment does whatever it's going to do, and the communists and the leftists, we remain this Noam Chomsky fan club, this irrelevant group of intellectuals and people, running up our nose. Oh, yes, I'm better than the idiot Americans. They're a bunch of cowboys and racists.